Hello, friends. I just got back from a trip from the Philippines, and I was in the Cebu Island. You know, in the Philippines, there's many islands, and I was in Cebu. Well, I stopped by this one high school in the city of. It's within the Cebu Island. This high school last November had 7 females all at once get possessed and acting out and like violently. Violently, these demons were manifesting. They called the authorities in, the police, to physically hold these girls down until the situation subsided. All at once, 7 of them. This is not the first incident. And a nearby community, the same thing. In fact, last month, I don't know the exact number, but I think it was about 10 all at once. 10 students all at once. I'm going to try to post some pictures. I'm not real good at technology. I'm really challenged with this. So I'm going to hold up some pictures to try to explain here what I'm doing. So my main focus here is why in these high schools, in these communities, is this so rampant? Well, in the Philippines, in some of the remote areas, not necessarily the city, not necessarily like Cebu City as much, but some of what they call provinces. And in America, you just call that the outskirts or the suburbs portions of the main city. And in these provinces, it's more prominent to have witchcraft and what they call them healers. And they have actual generational people that have been in this for many generations. And it just gets passed on. It's called the generational curse. And also, you get ancestral generational soul ties. That gets handed down from generation to generation. And then you get these manifestations, deep manifestations. And so what I found interesting is in the Philippines, they once a year they have this celebration called, I don't know if I pronounced it right, Sanulig. And it's a celebration where they claim that they celebrate the Christ child. And they'll have festivals, they'll have parades, and all this stuff. Excuse me. And they will have these parades, and it'll be I'm going to hold this picture up if you can see it. If you can see that okay. So they'll have parades like this, they'll have dancers, a bunch of dancers, and they always have a queen, a main queen. And it's holding up, let me get a picture here. And it's always holding up this little statue right here. And that's what they call the Christ child. And it's always a queen. The queen holding up that statue, and they call it the Christ child. Here's a better picture of what they call the Christ child, or you could call it Saint Nino Cebu. You can get it like there. Okay. Well, this statue and this image is all over. It's all over. It's in stores. It's in taxi cabs. They'll have this image up there, and they actually will pray to this image. And they pray to this image all the time. And they think they're praying to Christ when they do this. It's in stores. It was in the high school that I visited. I visited that high school that had this mass possession. They had an image of this right behind the front counter when you first walk in. Well, what I want to point out is this. You look at this image. You look in the right hand. You probably can't see it too good. I'm not, I'm technology challenged, so, but in this right hand right here, this image is going like this. And what that means in witchcraft is that's the Baphomet. And the Baphomet means what is up is below. It's the completion, meaning it's always a little bit of truth with a little bit of evil, just to get you looking away. So when you complete the Baphomet, it means they know that Lucifer has accomplished his goal in what he's doing. What he's saying is what is above is below. Meaning to say it's joined. So heaven and hell are joined. And it's become one. And in the other hand, you can see that. It's called the golden apple. The golden apple traces back all the way to mythology, to the three goddesses. And these three goddesses, it is Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite. Marriage, wisdom, and love. Well, the triple goddess is none other than the mother, maiden, and the crone. And the mother, maiden, and the crone is the completion of the unholy trinity. And the unholy trinity, of course, this is all witchcraft symbolism. And this symbolism within these images, and see, people don't see, the thing is, folks, people don't even know what they're doing these days. We just take a lot of things for granted. And, if somebody says something, we believe it. We don't take time to research it or anything. If somebody behind the pulpit says something, your pastor, your priest, whoever it is, the majority of the time, it's believed. It's never researched on your own. I challenge you to research what your pastor is saying, what your leader is saying. Go home, open the Bible up, take your Greek and Hebrew lexicons, and do a word study for each word in that verse. And so anyways, this little statue is in there, and it's in this high school. Okay? So all these mass possessions are happening with youth over in the Philippines. Is it possible that these schools are giving these demons a legal right to operate in these kids through the statue, and maybe there's other means there? And of course, their family lines and the generational curses and the ancestral generational soul ties and the connections and their essence and on and on and on. Is it possible? It's called idolatry. Now you take this idolatry into America, and let's just simplify it in America. How much time do people spend on watching sports? They get their phones, and they have all these sports teams and their favorite teams, and they do the fantasy football and the fantasy baseball, and they're on this thing all the time with their favorite sports team. Are you worshiping the sports? Are you worshiping that team? How much time do you spend worshiping Jesus and thinking about Jesus? John 4:24 says we should worship God in spirit and in truth. Not with a statue, not with fantasy football, with idols. They're both idols. But we worship Him in spirit and in truth. What spirit and in truth is? Well, God's a spirit. So You just close your eyes. You didn't have to close your eyes. And you just say, Father, I worship you. Just like that. Just say, Father, I worship you. Because you're being truthful. And God is the Spirit. In the Philippines, there are these hard beliefs that get passed on. And these people are real entrenched in these traditions. I guarantee you, if I had the opportunity, there'd be a lot of demons gone out of there. So, anyways, folks, I was challenging you all to worship God in spirit and in truth, according to John 4:24. Let's not worship idols. Okay? Let's not worship idols. You know, what's your idol? Where do you spend your time worshiping? Worship Him. Worship the true Lord God and Father. Okay. God bless you all.